I'm Hazel, it's Saturday again, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on what's been going on with WoW this week and what I've been up to. This week, updates on the ABetterABK movement. We've had more coverage and stories of abuse and discrimination coming out over the week. There were some really good articles, one from Upcomer and another one from Vice. I will link both of them in the description. We are 4 weeks into this movement now, and at this point, barring any major concessions or updates from Blizzard executives or unfoldings in the lawsuit, things are going to kind of start to happen more behind the scenes and more slowly, and it may take a while for us to see any real signs of progress. I would be very surprised if this was the last that we hear about it. I will be following the ABetterABK Twitter account for updates, and hopefully eventually there is like an other side to all of this where some actual changes have been made and game studios become a better place to work, not just Blizzard, but like across the industry. In WoW news this week, the big update is that we have word that there will be new customizations coming in patch 9.1.5. This is also the first that we've heard about patch 9.1.5, although its existence was implied. So coming with the next update, there will be, for Nightborne and Lightforged Draenei, updates to hairstyles, colors, facial hair, skin colors, accessories, horntails, tail length tattoos, and more. Also ear size and natural hair colors for Void Elves, new travel forms for Druids, and then new Soulshapes for Night Fae, and a new thing called Crittershapes, which is supposedly like a soul shape, but you can only use it in a rested experience area, and it's for something tiny like a squirrel. We don't know much yet about what types of animals the new Soulshapes and Crittershapes will be, aside from the example of squirrel for Crittershape, but isn't that the most important one? Also this week, we had some clarification in a blue post about the spec-specific conduits, so they shared some more details. This is for the Soul Twining Crescent and the Deathbound Shard items. It will always select a conduit that is usable by your current spec, which can include the generic Covenant ones, and if there's no available options, you will need to switch specs to use the item. It won't be consumed, you'll have to switch specs to your next desired spec to use it. We now know that the Deathbound Shard drop chance does increase with Torghast level, and you can only have one Deathbound Shard drop per week from the Adamant Vaults of Torghast. Overall, the spec-specific conduit change has been awesome. I've been really enjoying having that available, even just for like the Soul Twining Crescents that sometimes drop from Korthia. It's been so nice to know that those are going towards my main spec because my conduits are very behind. I never really ground the Venari upgrades. I feel like this also motivates me a little bit more to actually consider finishing my Archivist Codex rep. I am quite behind, I'm starting to realize, and it turns out that if you really want to grind maximum Archivist Codex rep, you have to do a lot of Korthia every day. But I might actually do it knowing that on the other side of it, there's conduit upgrades that can actually target the ones that I'm using, and I'm gonna need those to do stuff. Related to those upgrades, the other thing I should probably start doing, and this is a good thing to look into if you haven't thought of it yet, Torghast. Even if you've upgraded your legendaries, it's still, I'd say, worth grinding Torghast for Soul Cinders so that you can purchase sockets for your Soul Cinders on the Death Advanced vendor. You can do that at Exalted, but it's much easier to get Death Advanced to Exalted than it is to get Archivist Codex to rank 6. And then that frees up your cataloged research to spend just on conduit upgrades. You can buy sockets on the Archivist Codex, but if you could get them for Soul Cinders instead, assuming you don't need those for like a lot of legendaries, I feel like that's a good way to kind of tackle both options at once and make sure you're getting your conduit upgrades faster, assuming that you need those still like I do. This week, with the new Renown cap, we also got access to the very first empowered conduits. The way these work is that you will unlock the ones at the top of your soulbind trees first. Not every soulbind got theirs this week. I'm still waiting for mine on Pelagos and then Plague Divisor Marleth, but they're going to start at the top, they're going to work their way to the bottom of the tree, and an empowered slot will boost the efficacy of the conduit that's socketed into it. So what you want to do is you want to put your strongest conduits at the top of your tree where your empowered slots are, at least for now as we're unlocking them. Later on, once we're renown capped, it's not going to matter anymore, but for the moment, make sure that your strongest, highest rated, like your S tier conduits are at the top of the tree so that they get empowered first. Other news this week, there was a hotfix that went out so that only level 60 characters can list groups in the Shadowlands Mythic Dungeon section and the Shadowlands Raid section. This should hopefully help to cut down the amount of boosting advertisements that we see in those sections. It is against the rules to advertise boosts in the custom group finder. You can report people for that, and if people have to use level 60s to do so and they get, banned or muted or whatever it is that theoretically happens to them when they get reported enough times. I don't know. Hopefully this should help anyways, and I don't think it's going to hurt really that much, because if you're not level 60, you don't really need to be listing a group for a Shadowlands Mythic Dungeon anyways. You can't even do them yet. In my life this week, my guild is still 9 of 10 heroic in Sanctum and Domination. We're working on heroic Sylvanas for the second week. We did not kill her this week. We got to phase 2. We got kind of to the end of phase 2. That last platform of ads is ugly, so we're working on that. Hopefully more progress next week, but that's been fun. I've also been spending a bunch of time trying to push keys. I have only done up to 17 so far, but we've timed 17s pretty comfortably, so this week should be a good push week. I think this weekend I'm going to try to get some 18s in, would be really fun. And then I've also been spending a bunch of time playing Arena. And then the other thing that I've been doing is I've actually been having a lot of fun in Final Fantasy, and I think I'm going to add, or I know I'm going to add, another stream day for it. So Fridays and then also Saturday streams are going to be Final Fantasy 14 online streams, and then the rest of the streams will continue to be WoW streams, just for now while I'm really enjoying playing Final Fantasy. I just got access to Gathering, I picked up Botany, and I'm having a delightful time chopping down trees. When you find something like that that sparks joy, I think the best move is to not think about it too much and just spend some time doing it. With next week's news video, I do want to open the end of the video up to viewer questions again, so if you have a question you would like me to answer in a news video, please leave it in the comments of the most recent one and include the word question to help me find it. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful, wonderful day.